and gentlemen, all rise for the RankKing's court.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the greatest spectacle to grace your internet screens every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. exactly. I am the Rank King Austin Moorhead, joined as always by Noble Knight Greg and Oracle Vo. We got a show for you tonight, guys.
What was that?
What do you mean,
I said, what was that,
What was what?
Greg?
What?
That face you just did.
It was an introduction face. What's wrong with it?
introduction phase?
Yeah.
I liked it.
Well, thank you. You're
I
welcome.
can't tell
Caught
what
me off
faces
guard.
he's
Yeah.
making.
Well,
so.
I wasn't making one. I just did something real quick when you introduced me, so it was a funny thing. I was trying to make Vo laugh, so it worked. Yeah.
It worked.
We got a great show for you guys tonight, but before we even get into that, let's talk a little bit about our show last week. I believe it was, if I remember correctly, because my brain's been all over the place. We did.
I love how you forgot the topic already. That's funny as hell.
Well, I didn't forget the topic tonight. I forgot it last week. Oh, okay. So we did Kennywood last week. That's right. I don't know why.
What up, Blood Bomb? Good seeing you in the chat, good sir.
He said, "Hey, Greg," and the other two.
What's up? Blood Bomb, I'll be back on Thursday for the record. I apologize that Ping had to fill in for me, but I will be back on Thursday.
But yeah, we did Kennywood last week. I don't know about you guys, but I want to go to Kennywood now.
Mm-hmm.
Strictly because we did that show. And we got to do it quickly because, the weather's going to get colder. But
No. See, Austin, you have to understand. You know what this means when the weather gets a little gloomier outside and it gets a little chillier? It means it's hoodie and shorts season.
Hoodie and shorts season.
Which is literally what I'm in right now, a hoodie and shorts. So I'm quite happy. I'm thriving, actually.
I thrive that look all the time, and my parents are like, why do you wear a long sleeve shirt and then short? I'm like, shut up.
Yeah. Listen, you're trying to stay warm, but you're trying to make sure that people are aware that, hey, I got legs.
I got legs.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly the MO right there.
Don't know if you have legs? Wear shorts.
Exactly.
So,
Austin, did you get any comments on this? Any backlash for your ranking?
I don't think so.
Your top 10 actually, I wouldn't say it was too controversial. I mean, you got pretty much all of the coasters in there, so that's really all that matters. I think you hit all the big ones. You can maybe make an argument for like one or two. I'm surprised you didn't put any water rides in there, but not necessarily any issues.
I'm not a big fan of water rides, and if it was the log jammer, which unfortunately isn't there.
R.I.P.
I've never read the Steel Curtain.
I have not either.
But one of my friends said when you go up the incline, it plays Renegade.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's
cool.
awesome.
That's cool. I like it.
You get like all the PTSD from Steelers games that we either didn't win or won, that just going through your head like Vietnam flashbacks. Going like, yeah! It's just like that's what I take from it, at least. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much controversy in that. I think that we had, of course, Denny last week who didn't tune in until the last ranking just so he wouldn't get mad. And you know what I'm saying?
It's impressive that you can have just from a topic piss people off. That's how you know you got heat.
On an amusement park, nonetheless.
Well, it's something that holds near and dear to people's hearts, though.
It's probably because he can only ride certain rides.
That adds into it. Yeah, that's fair.
I think he's taller than me, so I don't know.
Then you
Well,
can only ride certain rides.
I was gonna say
You know,
maybe in fairness, his list could have been based on other people's perceptions, then not his own.
But here's the thing, guys.
Yeah, or
You know where
Candyland
you
rides.
can go to check your height. You know where you can go to have these heart-to-heart conversations and build up your heart along the way.
Well, we have
Where?
a perfect place that you can build up your heart muscle, and that is where Ranking Sort is live today from Union Fitness Studios, located on the North Shore of Pittsburgh. Union Fitness is more than a traditional gym. It's a place where you can transform yourself inside and out, with a variety of classes based around fitness, yoga, strength, and performance training. Union Fitness, they believe that it's their duty to hold themselves and their clients to a high standard. They practice what they preach and uphold the values, make Union Fitness the community that it is. Go to unionfitness.com today to sign up for a consultation. Through Union, there is strength.
Guys, the topic for tonight could not be any more chaotic. As we all know, this Thursday starts the actual NFL season.
Tune in for Two Beers Deep official football preview this Thursday.
Where's that-
I was
where's
going to
that
get
voice
there, but
coming
I'm
from?
happy for the self-plug, Greg.
You're welcome.
Which Blood Bum says he's out Thursday, which we're apologizing
Darn,
for that.
it's okay. It's okay.
Tune
He's-
in,
he works he works hard. He's allowed to take time off from time to time. It's
Oh,
okay.
yeah. But it's not just football that people are excited for. It is fantasy football. And boy, do we have a treat for you tonight, because for the first time ever in this show, there are going to be not one of us drafting, but two of us drafting in separate leagues while the show is going on. So it's going to get a little chaotic here, going from the topic to where I'm actually picking my guys to where Greg's picking his guys.
Way to spoil it, by the way. Jeez.
Why? This is not a spoiler.
No, but you spoiled like who was the other person drafting. You could have like built up the suspense a little, man.
I mean, I kind of told my league, hey, I can't draft Tuesday.
Oh, I
can
told
do tonight.
I told
So we did ours last night.
there were so many people that wanted to do it today. I was like, fuck it, I'll make it work. So, and realistically, I just need my phone, so like I'm gonna be fine.
That's true.
Yeah.
You can pull it up
Greg,
here.
what pick do you have, good sir? And first of all, how many people are in your league? Because I don't think.
Well, first of all, this is my, I believe off the top of my head, this is like my 5th league I'm in, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to like remember off the top of my head. So like I'm in my keeper league, my one league, the league I drafted with you, this league, and Thoughts from the Bench league. Yeah, so I think that's 5. Unless I'm missing one. I think it's 5, yeah. This is my 5th league I'm drafting for, so this tells you I am a psychopath, unfortunately.
Well, if you're a psychopath for that, Greg, I believe this is my 7th league.
Oh my god!
How do you
So,
keep track of all that?
I don't.
No.
It's all.
Did you know,
It's all chaos.
if I remember correctly, there was a few years ago, I remember someone created an app that like you can import all of your like
Teams.
all of your teams into it, and then it like essentially like creates it for you to like give you an idea of what you need to happen by only like a certain amount, but not too much that like you lose as well. It's pretty interesting, but it was years ago. I don't even think it's active anymore.
But my draft starts at 7 tonight. So,
Mine starts at 7 as well.
So both of ours start at 7. Greg, are you in a 12-team league or a 10-team league?
I'm in a 12-team league. As J.J. Watt said, 18 leagues are for pussies. So
That's true. I don't think I've been in an 18 one since freshman year of college. And that was my first ever league, and I won that league.
good to know you were a
So-
pussy as a freshman in college, bud.
Yeah, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
A pussy that won for his first.
Oh yeah,
That's where
18
you
league.
got the
First
Yeah,
ever
no
time.
wonder. No wonder.
Hey, I took shots on all the guys. I took injury-prone players that weren't supposed to go off. I took DeMarco Murray when he was with the Cowboys. I took Arian Foster when he was with the Texans. Aaron Rodgers, Rob Gronkowski coming back from his elbow injury. My receivers were absolute garbage. I think that might have been the year that Keenan Allen was a rookie, and I
I
took.
think he got hurt his rookie year actually.
Yeah, he
yeah.
did. So
Because he was an early pick, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, my receivers blew. I had Keenan Allen and I had Cordero Patterson
I
when he was
remember
with
him.
the Vikings. And it wasn't until I learned of the gracious waiver wire that I not only picked up, I picked up 2 rookies who are now, well, one is currently with a team, one is not. He's deciding. But I was able to pick up Mike Evans and Odell Beckham Jr. off the waiver wires.
Well, so you are you the type of person that like you believe you always draft horribly, so you just hawk the waiver wire like crazy?
No, I firmly believe I needed wide receiver help because
Okay.
it was so bad.
Because we did this in one of my leagues this year. I don't know if I told you this because you'll find it funny, but specifically for one person who was notorious in our league for being like waiver wire hawks and basically like just always running it and you loading up like 15 transactions a week, Matt Rapp. And we would basically, and what we did for the 1 year, someone came up with a rule proposal to limit the number of waiver wire transactions that you were allowed to make a week. And it was specifically just to fuck the one person. And we passed it, and he was so angry because I think he was the only person that voted against it. But it was the year before the pandemic, and then we were going to continue it again. But unfortunately, because of the pandemic, basically screwed everything. We were kind of like, all right, we're gonna toss that rule because you never know now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I get that.
One
of our guys was trying to introduce the monetary system where you start off with $100, figuratively online money.
yeah, I think Deeks told me about this like system before. I kind of like it actually.
I do, but then I'm like, I really like. What if I spend a whole bunch of money and the guy sucks, and then I only have so much money left over?
Well, that's why you have to budget accordingly, bud. That's why.
It's like being a real
being a real person and paying bills and making sure you can spend with what you money.
Being a real adult.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's not pretend I don't do those things. So
wait, you don't? I was gonna say I don't know how often you adult, bud. So like that's
I
on you.
adult. What do you mean I don't adult?
I said I don't know how often you adult. That's all.
Every Tuesday at 6:30.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, Greg, exactly what pick do you have in your league?
I have the 6th pick in a 12-team PPR. Actually, no, 12-team half-point PPR league.
Oh, so you got half. Okay,
I have half. Yes.
I have the 4th pick in a 10-team full PPR league. The 4th pick is always interesting because you could there are going to be maybe people that pass up CMC. Maybe he's there. You could take your first wide receiver in Cooper Kupp or Justin Jefferson, or you could go off the balls and maybe take Derrick Henry as your running back. Like it is. I never like the 4th pick because that pick decides the rest of the draft.
Yeah.
Like the first 3 picks are almost all it's Jonathan Taylor, it's Christian McCaffrey, and it's Austin Eckler. And then after that, the 4th pick decides the rest of the draft. So it terrifies me that I have that pick, but we'll have to see where it goes. That league starts for me in exactly 17 minutes. So why don't we get this started, gents? I'm excited to get going with this fantasy talk tonight. So let's head off to Radical Ranking number 1. All right. I do this every single year. These are the top guys that you shouldn't draft. Now, this is
it's pretty fun. It's pretty funny.
It's funny when he drafts all of them.
Yeah, it is. There was the 1 year that you did post a list, and I'm pretty sure you still you got burned for still taking some of the guys.
I mean, when Stephon Diggs falls to you in the 4th round, you have to take him. You just have to.
I will say, yesterday we had a tag team group. Like it's out of the group text. You have 2 owners.
Okay.
It's like super teams. Our last pick, we took Ben Roethlisberger just because he was on the.
Okay, fun story about that because Austin was here for this as well, and I think I might have brought this up previously. But we did the Pittsburgh Podcasters League, and it was me, Austin, and Dre who represented Thoughts on the Bench. And by the way, you want to talk about crazy? 4 people managing 1 fantasy team this year is going to be interesting.
A lot of yelling.
But yeah, a lot of yelling. But one of the owners, his name's Matt Light. He's a comedian in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Oh my God, he took 3 guys in this draft. He took Ben. He took Deshaun Watson.
Okay.
And he took Antonio Brown. In back-to-back picks. It was
near the end, I hope.
Yes, near the end. It was hysterical, but it was just oh my God, why?
Those are wastes of pick in my honest opinion, but I mean
it's for charity.
Yeah.
We
for
don't
charity.
care.
Yeah, if it was for
charity.
like regular money, like I'd be pissed. Like I'd be like, what are we doing here? But but it's for charity. So
Right.
I'm going to get into this. I'm going to explain why for all these different reasons, whether it's by ADP or whether it's by like how they're going to perform in a new offense.
I
Maybe.
like how it's your ADP, by the way.
It's not my ADP. It's
You
the
said your
actual
ADP. That's what I'm basing it
based
on.
on 80. Okay, you know what? Number 5, we're going to hit the only tight end on our list first. This guy was a stud last year. I just don't think he's going to have the production that a lot of people think he's going to have this season. But he's in a high-powered offense, so people are going to take him. And my number 5 is Dawson Knox, tight end of the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I agree with you. If you're gonna like try to get him as your number 1 tight end, then you're kind of like, at that point you might as well just play tight end carousel.
Yeah, listen. The guy did very well in the red zone last year. He was a touchdown monster.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're getting into a situation where you have a plethora of running backs, including now rookie James Cook, that's going to be there. That I guarantee you is going to see the red zone more than any other running back that's going to be on that squad.
Mm-hmm.
You have Gabriel Davis, who I believe is going to. It's another name that people are throwing out as not a bust, but like a fade.
He's their number 2. He's their number 2. Yeah. So I mean, like it's reasonable, and I think people are gonna
potential.
And people are gonna bank on the divisional game against the Chiefs as kind of like the reason for that, because he had 4 touchdowns in that game.
4 touchdowns, yeah, it was insane. But Dawson Knox, insane numbers in the red zone last year. I just don't think a lot of his production came on those red zone touchdowns. And I personally think that they're going to avoid that situation this year. I think they're going to target Gabriel Davis a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Now that Stephon Diggs is going to be covered. I think they're going to pass to the running backs a lot more. And let's not forget that Josh Allen physically has giant legs and can run it into the red zone at any point that he wants to.
Well, let's also think about this too, Bud. Like, that Bills offense is going to be kind of like changed a little bit because Dable and Kafka are now with the Giants. So that's a new OC and a new quarterback coach. So I guess what?
The red flags are always there when you have those situations. Like, so.
I mean, the talent's there. So, like, don't get me wrong, but it's like curious to see what the game plan's going to be like, because it could be a lot different for all we know.
Yeah, for sure. But he's the only tight end on our list. I wanted him to get out of the way for this, because now we get into the plethora of guys that, some of these names I'm going to say, yeah, and then others are maybe like, what?
Austin, I will say you're going to rank 5 people, right? I think these 5, I've drafted every person. Not on the same team.
I was going to say.
In multiple leagues, I have in some aspect.
Okay. I definitely haven't drafted Dawson Knox, so like that's for sure.
I think I got him in the thoughts from.
I can guarantee you one of us, I know, because I have him on like 2 of my teams. And number 4, this is wide receiver DK Metcalf. Look, I know
I have him on one of my leagues. Yep.
DK's talent is there, man.
It makes it hard not to pick him.
I know, but the fact of the matter is that we are now going from the worst quarterback grade. Now we are going from Russell Wilson to now Geno Smith / Drew Lock. And there were flashes last year where Geno Smith was able to get DK the ball, but I think this offense is going to be a lot different this year. I think it's going to be very run heavy. I think it's going to be very run heavy with Rashad Penny and Kenneth Walker. I just don't like, and Tyler Lockett, I don't know where he's going to fit into this offense. You have tight end from the Broncos coming over, Noah Fant. I believe Noah Fant gets more targets and more looks than any of these guys combined, just because of the way that Geno Smith and Drew Lock love to get to the tight end. So
yeah, I will point out too that people forget a lot because they look at Metcalf and Lockett and they kind of switch the orders around. Lockett's actually the deep guy and Metcalf's the slot guy. So Metcalf, in terms of like his body type and by the fact that he's a physical guy, will probably get a good bit of targets more so. The problem is that in terms of attempts, Geno Smith is not going to throw as much as Russ did. So I can agree with you. I think there will be more running the football in Seattle this year, but I'm also kind of willing to say that I believe Metcalf, and proof is in it because of last year too. Metcalf was able to make stuff happen when he got the ball from them, so I think he'll still put up numbers. They just won't be like godly numbers that we could have probably expected with Russell Wilson as his quarterback or something. But I still think he'll have the numbers to at least back up being a good number one receiver.
Yeah.
Plus, they paid him this offseason, so he has to produce somewhat.
And I think if he's there late in your draft, it's a no-brainer to take him. 'Cause he has the potential. You're not taking him as your number 1 or 2 wide receiver.
Exactly.
So if you have the room to take him, take the chance on him.
Yeah, it's like if he's your flex or if he's your 4th wide receiver, I don't hate it. But you're gonna struggle a little bit if he's your number 2. I'll say that. Let's move on to number 3. A guy that I want to succeed so bad. He's had flashes in the pan, but this team is gonna be so awful this year that I really don't know what they're gonna do with him. And that's David Montgomery, running back at the Chicago Bears. Look, I get David Montgomery. This is what, his 4th or maybe 3rd or 4th year with the team. He was drafted. His rookie year, he was not great. Then he started having some flash in the pan his sophomore season with the team. This team is going to be awful. I don't know what they're expecting. Like, defensive coordinator, now head coach, does never what you want to have in an offensive scheme. Justin Fields has no protection along the offensive line. They got Alex Leatherwood now, former first round.
Good luck on that one.
Good luck on that one. His wide receiver core is absolutely awful aside from Darnell Mooney. I think Darnell Mooney and Cole Kmet really shine in this offense because who else do they have? They have N'Keal Harry, but he's injured.
Right.
They have Byron Pringle.
It's a good last name.
Yeah. I do like Khalil Herbert, for the record.
That's another thing, too, Greg, is that Khalil Herbert has had some greater flash in the pan than David Montgomery. I just don't know. I think they're going to stack the box, and I think they're going to force him to throw it to Montgomery. And while he can catch out of the backfield, they're going to expect that then. So, and let's not forget, Fields' athleticism, he's going to vulture some touchdowns with his legs.
I love Justin Fields. I think he is going to be a very good quarterback, but they did him no favors with building this offense. But what I will say is I blame more of that on Ryan Poles than I do on Ryan Pace. I'm sorry. I blame Ryan Pace more so than I do this coaching staff and this front office. But I
tell that to Roquan Smith.
Yeah, no kidding. But I am cautiously optimistic that because of the fact that I could not tell you who the best pass catchers are going to be for this team, because I don't trust Darnell Mooney as a number 1 receiver. I like Cole Kmet, but he hasn't done a lot for me yet. So I think by default, I feel like Montgomery has to do at least some type of work, and I think his numbers were respectable the last 2 years that he was with Chicago. So I don't think he's necessarily going to be a detriment or anything. He could surprise people, especially if you took him as maybe a 3rd RB or in a deep draft if you struggle to get your 2nd running back kind of late. It's not awful, but I would still bank on making sure that you get a number 1 back that would be a little more reliable.
Yeah, I just don't know. I'm going to be really upset if the Bears have the worst record and their response in the draft is to take a quarterback.
Oh, they're not going to. Relax. There's guys in this draft class that are way good.
You say that, but it has happened before. So
yeah. But I think they realize Justin Fields is an elite talent. I think when you watch him play, you can tell the kid's got something.
Oh yeah, let's not forget the quote that Darnell Mooney said. The 49ers would regret passing on Justin Fields after their Sunday matchup this week.
And I'm immediately picking the Niners in my survivor pool.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. Number 2, I think, is more obvious than a lot of people. This guy was not granted his 5th year option. I really, really wanted this guy to succeed, but the way that this offense is going to run, the way that this coach has used a certain method in the past in another system, I don't know if Josh Jacobs is going to do it this year. I firmly believe that I will pass on him. If he's available, I will pass on him in every draft I can possible. Because not only, number 1, when your 5th year is declined, that's never a good sign. You're out after this year. You've done nothing for us. But now you have McDaniels coming over from New England, who is a master at the running back carousel committee. I firmly believe, guys, I think Zamir White takes over this backfield by week 5.
He was very, very good with Georgia. So like there's some talent right there that he could work off with. And yes, especially after because they released their other running back, I believe, like during camp cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Zamir White's gonna get a heavy workload coming into this year too. So Zamir White is gonna be a great like late round pickup, like especially in the double digits. But see, here's the thing. People said the same thing about Jacobs last year, and I thought Jacobs produced decent coming into this season and stuff. And that was with all the head coaching like drama that they had to deal with and stuff. And Derek Carr still put up 4,000 passing yards, and Jacobs put up respectable numbers, I thought. So again, Jacobs kind of falls into that Montgomery flow where it's like you don't want him to be your number 1 running back, but like if he's your number 2, it's not necessarily the end of the world because you're not relying on him to be in that boat.
Yeah, it's just like I just don't think he's going to get a shot. I mean, honestly, I think he's going to go out there, he's going to stink, and they're going to put up Zamir White. And I'm going to be honest, guys, now that Davante Adams is there, I don't know how much they're going to run.
I mean, I would absolutely target Waller and Hunter Renfrow in leagues, that's for sure. Just because like Adams is going to get so much attention.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing to say at the least. Let's hit our number 1.
By the way, thank you, Denny. Shout out to you for the Tier 1 subscription and gifting a Tier 1 to Sid2K6.
Rock on, Sid.
Thanks, thank you.
Number 1. I think I might have said this last year that he was in my top 5. This is definitely the year. I don't care. I love that I praise this man for what his athletic accomplishments are. It's Aaron Rodgers. Like, I don't.
How did that go?
That's my starting quarterback.
Wait a sec. How did that go over for you last year when you
it's
said
not
that?
Great, but I know. But I think we can agree that the situation this year is a little bit different than what it was last year. They have no Davante Adams, which is the main issue for what that is. And I the way that this team is going to be running, he already is saying he has no faith in these wide receivers already. That's bad. That's bad already. I do believe, however, that Christian Watson won't be the guy. I believe that Romeo Doubs is going to be the guy.
He's a lot more the deep threat guy, I think. He's got speed. He's got wheels. He was what was the name of the guy from Nevada that we all liked so much for the quarterback? Shit, his name's escaping me now. I can't remember the name, but yeah, Dubes was like the number 1 target at Nevada and had like crazy speed to burn, and he was just putting up he was putting up some solid numbers actually. So like I could see that, but I don't know, man. I still think you got to look at Alan Lazard. Just like Carson Strong, thank you. Carson Strong. He was Carson Strong's number 1 target, yeah.
Carson freaking Strong.
Awesome. We have some comments here in regards to your number 1.
Shoot.
Do you want me to rate him or you want to rate him yourself?
Aaron Rodgers will always be the GOAT. I get it. I just don't think so this year. I think that this is the year that he gets figured out for the fact that the huge amount of target share that Davante Adams had, and Davante Adams is no longer there. He's going to have to rely. I think this is a team that switches to a run-first attack with the combination of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon.
But you could also make the argument last year there were games that that Jones and Dillon had some very good running games, and Rodgers still put up MVP-type numbers. And
he's just going to keep saying it until it finally happens.
Yeah, because here's the thing, too. Like Patrick Mahomes lost Tyreek Hill, and we're not expecting Patrick Mahomes to fall off a cliff in terms of the amount of numbers that he puts up this year. Oh, you are. Okay.
It's,
Why did you?
it comes later.
Oh, it comes later. Gotcha.
Zane said, "Let me reword. AR will always be the GOAT except for in playoffs."
Yep, that's true. Well,
Hey,
unless it's fantasy football playoffs, that's a
Yep.
different story.
And just so everybody knows, my draft has started. Greg,
Mine
yours
has as well.
too. So
Good
Mine-
luck, guys.
A minute in between picks. Oh,
I have
that's
a minute
annoying.
and 30.
That-
I have a minute and 30.
That is
Minute
awful.
30?
That's awful. No.
I love that.
No,
It's
no.
brewing some time now for us.
No. 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
No, that
Hey,
was
Shrek.
awful when we did.
30 seconds is all you need.
Hey, Shrek did it 420. Said Austin is so bad at fantasy football. So bad. So bad.
Benny,
Emphasis on the so. Emphasis
I
on
think
it.
of all the people I've beaten in our league over the years, I think I've beaten Denny like 9 out of 10 times. Don't tell me. So Jonathan Taylor obviously goes number 1. I'm looking here, guys.
Yep.
It's
You're pick 4 and you're 6, right?
I am 6, yes.
Okay.
So there goes Christian McCaffrey. So now it boils down to,
No.
is it going to be
Austin's
Cooper
gonna ruin
Kupp?
the draft.
So Cooper Kupp goes. So now I have a minute and 30 seconds if I want Austin Eckler or if I want Justin Jefferson.
Stephon Diggs.
This is tough because honestly, I firmly believe that Justin Jefferson is going to put up Cooper Kupp-like numbers, being that their offensive coordinator is now their head coach. So they're going to get Jefferson the ball a lot. But when you look at the positional wise, you think Austin Eckler is, that great running back that you want. It's an interesting situation, guys. I think I'm going to play it safe. And I might take Eckler. I think I might take Eckler. I think that's the smart decision.
Especially in a PPR league. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so I'm going to take Austin Eckler and wait for everything to go around. So while we do that, let's get into Radical Ranking number 2. All right, and with that, Justin Jefferson now goes. So either the guy I picked or not. So Radical Ranking number 2, I have the top sleepers this year. These are guys that I believe have the potential to go off hard. There goes Jamar Chase. Someone else went too. I couldn't see it. Najee Harris. Okay. So with this, guys, there goes Dalvin Cook. Let's start off with a guy that I'll have you guys talk about him for a bit. Greg, you probably know a little bit more. I think the kid's going to have a little bit better of a season. Number 5, I have wide receiver of the Los Angeles Chargers. I have Josh Palmer.
Ooh, Tennessee guy. I like that.
No, we don't like that.
Well, that's
Not
for this
this
weekend.
week.
That's
Not
this
this
weekend.
week.
Calm down.
We don't like that.
That's this weekend. Calm down. You know what? He was very interesting coming out. He had the size, but I think he was like a 4th or 5th round guy, if I remember correctly. He didn't really I don't think he popped off really well at the combine to get a higher look up, but I like this, Austin, especially for how their offense is going to run, and especially because they have 2 very good receivers, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. So someone else is probably going to get some looks in that offense, and he's almost kind of in that same body mold that they are as well. So I could definitely see that working out well for you. I don't know, because here's the other thing too, especially in terms of target share. Yeah, Allen will get his, Williams will get his, and honestly, also Austin Eckler gets a lot of touches as well. So I'm a little nervous about how many attempts he'll get, but he could surprise some people, especially if Williams or Allen get hurt, actually.
One of my favorite plays from last year was when the Chargers faced the Giants and Justin Herbert threw that 70, 75-yarder to Palmer. And man, it shook the arena. It was so nice. Oh man. So in my thing, we have 4 picks until I'm up. Stephon Diggs just went. I'm looking here, guys, to hopefully get another running back on the turn. I have Joe Mixon, DeAndre Swift there. I'm hoping that they're there because I would like Joe Mixon because Alvin Kamara went before that. And there goes Travis Kelce, so that's nice. Okay. Devontae Adams went. I'm thinking that I have a chance to get these guys. Oh, and there goes Joe Mixon just because I said it. So
Get Swift.
Hate to see it.
Deebo
bud.
Samuel. Now it's gonna be if this guy picks DeAndre Swift or not. He probably will to spite me.
To spite you? Okay.
Yeah. In that case, like, I don't know. The next best running back is Javonte Williams, and I don't know if I'm ready to take that chance yet.
What are you talking about? Even like last year, he put up pretty good numbers.
I know. It's going on the thing. But while we discuss that, let's head off to our number 4 sleeper. I've talked about him already, and that is wide receiver of the Green Bay Packers, Romeo Doubs.
All right. It's going to be hard to try to figure out between him and Watson is going to get looks, honestly. So I think it's going to be like a dealer's choice on that one, but he's got the speed. I'll give you that. Watson's more of a big body guy, I think, but Dubs has the speed that he could burn. But here's the thing. Rodgers has never been the type of guy that I think like he prioritizes speed when he's trying to air it out to guys. He likes the possession guys and the guys that can kind of make plays on their own accord, I think.
Okay. I get it. I mean, like, it's just that who's gonna catch the ball for this team besides Allen Lazard? Like, I don't think Christian Watson's ready to make that step yet. No idea if Robert Tonyan's going to be ready to go as a tight end. He's going to be out for, I think, 4 weeks on the PUP list. And then it's just like, I mean, Rodgers has thrown to Aaron Jones. I firmly believe that Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon both get their set of touches. But there's something just about Doubs that he's put up the skill already for it. So, I mean, who knows? By the way, I did get DeAndre Swift on that run. So now I'm hoping maybe I can get Javonte Williams. Wow, Deontay Johnson just went in the 3rd round. That's
how you know you got Yinzers in your league.
He got picked over Tyreek. He got picked over Tyreek Hill.
Who'd you get?
So I've already done my first 2 rounds. I picked Derrick Henry first, and I picked Mike Evans second.
Okay.
I wanted to get my number 2 back, but I was kind of eyeing up the board, and I was like, you know what? I think there'll be some guys kind of available that might help. Yeah, because for me, like if I can get Javonte Williams or Ezekiel Elliott as my number 2 back, I'll be happy with that.
Hey Austin, is Hingle McCringleberry still on the board?
He is not. Just so you guys know, James Conner just went. I am
Yinzer League.
Yeah, I am up. And here's the thing. I have 3, maybe 4 guys to pick from right now. I have Tyreek Hill, Mark Andrews, Javonte Williams, and Keenan Allen. So now the question comes into play of, do I take a 3rd running back and solidify a running back core?
No, you can easily get
Andrews.
Yeah, go for the elite. Go for the elite positions.
So go for Mark Andrews, and because it would come down to Mark Andrews or Tyreek Hill.
Because you don't have to worry about, if you get Mark Andrews, you won't have to worry about your tight end until the bye week probably.
That's true. So you're saying pick Mark Andrews over Tyreek Hill?
You haven't taken a receiver yet?
No.
Oh, that makes it tough.
At that point, I would just flip a coin.
Well,
whoever's left.
Decide for me in 20 seconds.
Why are we deciding?
I'm just asking. I'm asking you to. Would you rather I take Tyreek Hill or Mark Andrews? I'm asking.
Heads or tails?
I say do Mark Andrews just because he's more of a sure thing. That's all.
Heads or tails?
All right. Let's go Mark Andrews. Okay. While we do that, now let's move on to our 3rd sleeper. I think this kid, I mean, he's been solidified right now basically as the number 1. I want to see where he can do. Number 3 is Dameon Pierce. Like, how do we feel? I love Dameon Pierce.
He's in a great situation. He's the number 1 in Houston right now, and that entire Houston offense is just, I don't even know what to make of it.
I don't even know who they have on their team.
Well, Davis Mills is their starting quarterback. Brandon Cooks is their number 1 receiver, who will get you 1,000 yards a season regardless of who's there. So that's all we can agree on. But But yeah, Damian Pierce is the #1 in Houston right now, and he's starting to get some like buzz in a lot of leagues. I picked him up in one of them 2 weeks ago, and it's something that I am very happy I did.
Let's put it this way. He was at one point, he was being drafted in like round 12 or
Yes.
13.
Yeah.
Now he's being drafted in like round 7 or round 8.
Because people know they're going to get a starter.
Yeah.
See, I wish we would have done this episode earlier, so I would have known all this.
Well, that's on you for not reading up on this stuff before your drafts, bud.
You think I do that?
Yeah, that's true. You have a life.
Very true.
What's your number 2, Austin?
Number 2 is I think this is my favorite pick of the year. I have him on a couple teams. He's got that dog in him. Number 2, Pittsburgh Steelers wide receiver George Pickens.
He's got some fire in him.
He's got that dog in him.
He's got some fire in him.
He's got that dog.
Yeah.
Dude, he's so freaking good. I am not making this up when I said when that pick was made, I jumped and screamed for joy because I wanted either George Pickens or I wanted Alec Pierce. And I'm so happy it was George Pickens. The dude pancakes everybody.
Yeah. It's very surprising that you get a receiver who was like this sought after when he was coming out of high school and he's that good of a blocker.
Yeah.
You don't see that often with receivers who take pride in that ability to do that.
Oh yeah,
so.
he just puts people on his ass. Like it is amazing to see. I think that Pickens by the end of this year takes Chase Claypool's spot. As the number 2. I firmly believe it.
It's interesting. I feel like so many people are sleeping on Chase Claypool in the worst way. Like if you could get Claypool in like the 7th or 8th round, I highly encourage it because Claypool underwhelmed a little bit his second year, but his first and second year numbers were identical. The only problem is like if he had a better QB, he would have had much better numbers in my opinion, easily. So like the way that the offense is going to be changing up now, and I think Claypool's going to be working in slot a bit more. He'll get those touches that are going to help him a ton. So
let's hope we're not throwing the ball for 2 seconds after it's snapped again, because that's just no way to win a game. So right now, guys, I'm looking at the board for this. I am up right before this. Terry McLaurin is staring me in the face. And that guy picks Breece Hall. So I would assume I would go Terry McLaurin here, solidify him as my number 1 wide receiver. Other options, just so we know, Nick Chubb is there. Jalen Waddle is there. Mike Williams, Brandon Cooks, Travis Etienne, David Montgomery, Marquise Brown, DK Metcalf. I'm assuming I would go Terry McLaurin here. I have no receivers.
Yeah, at that point, yeah.
Number 1 receiver. Yeah, so we'll go McLaurin, solidify him. I don't know what Carson Wentz is going to be able to do. Hopefully not suck. So, and Patrick Mahomes goes in the 4th round. Let it point out that Justin Herbert, I think, went a round and a half before Patrick Mahomes.
Wow, that's crazy. Denny is apparently very mad that you are not taking Nick Chubb.
Well, let's see if he's there. I like Nick Chubb a lot, Denny. It's just the point where I don't trust this Cleveland offense for the first 11 weeks because all they're going to do is just stack the box against Nick Chubb and make them throw. And who's the throwing running back? Kareem Hunt. So I don't – that's why Nick Chubb is falling a lot in leagues. I mean, if Nick Chubb is my 3rd running back, I think I might have to take that. But, I mean, after that, if we're not going running back, maybe. If we're going wide receiver again, Jalen Waddle is there. Brandon Cooks is there. And Lamar Jackson goes to end the 4th round. That is I don't know what we're doing here, but okay.
It is. Here's the thing, too, is like you always pay attention a lot to the teams that you watch how they draft, and you're kind of like, what the fuck is going on? And I think it distracts you from your ability to actually do your own draft because then you're kind of like worrying about why the hell is this going on and stuff. That's all you can focus on is what's available to you, and that's what you decide to make work.
Darren Waller goes. I mean, boys, if Nick Chubb is there, I have to pick him up, right? Like that's
Yeah, at this
If you want
point.
to make Denny
needed
happy,
running back
Yeah,
monster.
and God, I mean, God forbid you. I mean, you got to make Denny happy. So
Cortland Sutton goes. I mean, if like I could argue maybe wide receivers and Jalen Waddle and Brandon Cooks. I just there's always that like scare injury of like what if one of my running backs goes down. I would like to have
yeah, that's fair.
Nick Chubb available. I mean, if you guys are in my place, what do you do? Do you take that running back in Nick Chubb, or do you take a guy like Jalen Waddle or Brandon Cooks?
how many running backs do you have? 2.
Two. I have Austin Eckler and I have DeAndre Swift.
I'd probably go receiver.
Yeah, solidify that receiver because Terry McLaurin is your
Brandon
number.
Cooks just went, so if I were to go wide
Waddle.
receiver,
Go
it would
Waddle.
probably go Jalen Waddle.
Yeah.
Was he hurt too or no? Back.
Is questionable.
Waddle last year though was a PPR god. Like he fits that slot role perfectly, and he's gonna get even more looks this year because so many defenses are gonna have to game plan for Tyreek.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Greg. So all right, I'll take Jalen Waddle. So I'm liking my team so far. Actually, Austin Eckler, DeAndre Swift, Terry McLaurin, Jalen Waddle, and Mark Andrews. I don't hate that. So, and what else don't I hate? My number one sleeper. This is the hot take, man.
Okay.
The number one sleeper in fantasy football this year is San Francisco quarterback Trey Lance.
You hopping on the MVP bandwagon that Vegas is giving him, huh?
Dude, no. I don't know what we're gonna get out of this game. I don't know. Like, because they were so nervous that they had to bring on Jimmy Garoppolo as a backup just to stay. So I want to think the kid has talent. He hasn't really shown it yet. I'm a little scared for like George Kittle, for Deebo Samuel. Brandon Ayuk can't catch the ball anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I don't know.
You put him as number 1 though.
I mean, he's.
That seems iffy there. If you're unsure of him.
Well, that's the whole point of sleeper, is that you're hoping that he goes.
That's true. That is very true.
Oh man. All right. I mean, do you guys think I'm missing any? Like,
I feel like Trey Lance is like the obvious number 1 sleeper, especially because everyone's paying attention to that offense with San Francisco, and they're like, oh, Jimmy G put up numbers and stuff, and Trey Lance is very much kind of in that same mold as the Colin Kaepernick situation that happened, where like they knew they were limited with Alex Smith, so they were like, let's get the guy that we know can make plays and see what we can work from it. So I think you're somewhat in the right in this one by giving him the odds. My only concern still is what we're basing this off of is like the amount of games that Trey Lance has played in his career, not even just talking about pro football, but talking about college as well, is so minimal that it's like it's going to be so hard to figure that out. But for all we know, that could be a plus for him because of that. There's less wear and tear on him. So we'll see.
Very true. I'm up again before this pick or after this pick. Quarterbacks are looking scarce. The best one right now, excuse me, in round 6 is Dak Prescott. Kyler Murray just went before. I think I can hold off a little bit longer. So depending on what this pick is, I have options like J.K. Dobbins, Chris Godwin, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Darnell Mooney, Gabriel Davis. It's the option of like, do I start looking at my third running back right now in case?
I'm surprised that your draft is moving faster than mine, but then again, it makes sense because you're 10 and I'm 12. So
yeah, and plus you, for some reason, I have an extra 30 seconds. I think guys just know what they want in this league and they're put their stance on it.
Yeah. So Austin, what I've done so far, I have my wide receivers are Mike Evans and Amon-Ra St. Brown. My running backs are Derrick Henry and Breece Hall. My tight end is Kyle Pitts.
Okay. I like what you're doing so far. Okay, so Chris Godwin goes. So is it smart to probably grab J.K. Dobbins, I think, because you have that third running back?
And for all we know, J.K. Dobbins could be a big big option for that offense because
Yeah,
we have no idea. We have no idea what it would have been like last year because literally they had every single running back tear their ACL and with the Ravens. So
exactly. And like after this, the running backs go down. I mean, you have Elijah Mitchell after this, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Devin Singletary, Miles Sanders. I think Dobbins is the right move here because then it's like a drop tier.
right.
And then I'm up again, I think, in like 5 or 6 picks. So let's go Dobbins. Solidify that as my flex. And while we're waiting, so there goes Dalton Schultz. Let's hit the best part of the show, which is the great debate. The great debate is simply this, gentlemen. There are 4 categories: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the top of your head, think who has the most fantasy points by the end of the year.
Any order?
I think we all just I don't know how you guys want to do it. If you want to list them all at once, if you want to go one at a time.
Position by position?
Yeah, let's do position by position. Yeah.
Position by position. I'm fine with that.
So the way that the screen is set up right now, Austin, you're the top at first, Vo's in the middle, and I'm at the bottom. So I say we just do it.
That order?
Yeah, we just do that order.
All right,
yeah.
that works.
Okay. I'm just gonna start off with the quarterbacks. Now I'm second guessing myself. I vote. I mean, I think I'm gonna go safe pick. I'm gonna say Josh Allen as quarterback.
That's fair. That's fair. That's a safe
safe
pick. Yeah.
option. Because I was thinking some other names. Adam Thielen just went before, and now I'm up. The option it's telling me right now to take is Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think having Amon-Ra St. Brown as my 3rd wide receiver, I think is very good. Greg, you
I like him. I do.
God.
I love the Sun God. Yes.
Let me just list off the wide receivers real quick here. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Amari Cooper, Allen Robinson, Michael Thomas, Christian Kirk.
Michael Thomas, I would probably try to snag up, hopefully at like a wraparound or something, because I think he's.
I don't know.
People forget how good Michael Thomas is.
Yeah, it's the thing, Greg, is I don't know if I'm gonna get there, because I have quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
So it becomes now an option of do I take Michael Thomas or do I take Amon-Ra St. Brown?
St. Brown's not a bad pick.
No, he's not. He's a great possession guy. And when Jameson Williams comes back, I think he'll even get more looks too, because people will be so focused on Williams' speed.
Well, on that note, I guess I'm taking Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I will select him.
I like it. All right, so you got Josh Allen for your quarterback.
I do.
Bo, what about you?
I'm going to go with a guy who I had last year, I believe, in one of my leagues. He was really consistent, and that is Justin Herbert.
Okay. I like it. I
love Justin. He was I think he was on my team last year for us, and he balled out like so many times.
Yeah, he was consistent every week. No like complaints with him. So if you can get him, I suggest drafting him.
Look at that stamp of approval from you. I like it.
What about you, Greg?
Sorry, 1 sec. Okay. Part of me kind of wants to do something stupid and say like Jameis Winston or like Derek Carr or something like that, just to be out there and different. But I'm gonna play it safe. I'm gonna do, even though he doesn't have Tyreek Hill anymore, I still think he's gonna be responsible with the football. Give me Patrick Mahomes.
Responsible with the ball?
Yeah.
That dude throws it up and just hopes somebody will
Well,
grab it.
that's what he did with Tyreek Hill. I don't think he's going to do that
Did it with
anymore.
everybody.
The way that offense is going to be set up now, there's going to be so much more dink and dunk. There's going to be so much more usage of the running backs. There's going to be so much more guys that are more safety net types. There's not that guy that can like take the top off of a team. So therefore, Mahomes is going to be a little more careful with that. And Mahomes even admitted that he relied on Tyreek Hill way too much with those like way too much with those.
Someone,
like,
I
deep
just
Blind
want to
pass.
point out.
Yes,
in round,
yes, yeah.
I
So
want to point out in round 7, pick 8, someone picked Rex Burkhead. Just want to throw that out there.
interesting.
That's bad. That's really bad.
I have an idea.
Mm.
We'll do it just like a fantasy draft. You pick your running back next.
Okay.
We'll do like a snake draft.
Okay. Running back, I think that's gonna do well this year. If I trusted him to stay healthy, fuck, I would say CMC, but I'm not falling for that one.
No, you can't.
I can't trust him. I think because of the offense that he's in, and because of the fact that like he is a dual threat guy, I'm gonna go Austin Eckler. I really like Austin Eckler this year, actually.
Solid pick. I approve that one too.
While you guys are deciding running backs for this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 picks until I'm up. Michael Thomas is still there, but
I'm telling you,
take him,
dude. I might have Michael Thomas as my number 3 receiver
I'm worried
in this next
because
pick.
I'm worried because one person is an auto. So Michael Thomas is at the top of the list. So that's the only reason why I don't think I'm going to get him.
If I can get, I'm legit up in 3 picks. If I can get Michael Thomas as my number 3 receiver, I'll be happy. Very, very happy.
I mean, if I can get, what's his name? So Juju just went. Michael Thomas still there. Allen Robinson's still there. Drake London's still there.
London would be a great pickup, especially, but not maybe like wait a little before you do that.
And Christian Kirk goes. There goes Michael Thomas.
Nice
so
knowing
I have 1 pick. This guy's gonna pick, and then I'm up. It's all about. I don't know if I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if Drake London's gonna make it to me again. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks after I make this pick, and he is a 3rd best person in fantasy value right now. I mean, here's the thing. Running backs are going. Do I want to take Dameon Pierce right now?
Yes. Starter.
What round is it?
This is round 8.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude, someone in my draft took Dameon Pierce in the 5th.
So, okay.
So take Dameon Pierce, yes.
I will take Dameon Pierce, hopefully, that, anyone who's in my league, don't watch this yet. Don't Dameon Pierce, please. I'm going to be real mad if that happens, actually.
All right. Bo, who do you got for your running back?
For my running back, I'm going Derrick Henry. He's just a monster.
Yeah, if he was healthy last year, he probably could have come very close to breaking the all-time season record. Yeah.
I'm going with consistency with my team.
So, I don't want to be obviously pick Jonathan Taylor. I don't want to do that. So Hunter Renfrow goes. I will be taking Dameon Pierce. Eat it, nerds. And hopefully that Drake London or Allen Robinson.
Well, you're taking Dameon Pierce?
I just took not now. Shut up.
Derrick Henry and Austin Eckler gone.
I'm gonna roll the dice and I'm gonna say CMC. I think if he comes back healthy for once, please, fantasy gods, leave his ankles alone. Please. I think that he could put up some monster numbers. So
Has he ever been healthy, like a full season?
yeah.
McCaffrey, his rookie season.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Someone picked Antonio Gibson. You just got the best punt returner in the game, nerds.
Listen, bud, I picked him up in the 12th round in my one league, and I'm like,
12th round.
yeah, he fell that far.
Wow.
And listen, I understand there was like the talk on him, but like, listen, if I can get value like that, I'm taking advantage of it.
Yeah, holy yeah.
All right, Austin, you want to go wide receiver or tight end next?
Let's go wide receiver. And it's just tough now because I'm gonna say it. I think it's Jamar Chase. I really do. I will see later. I have some hot fantasy football takes. He's part of that.
Spoiler alert.
Wow. Okay.
So
All right. What do you
yeah,
got?
I'm saying Jamar Chase.
What do you got for receiver?
I'm going with Buffalo's star receiver, Stephon Diggs.
I thought you were gonna say like a cold.
What?
Nothing.
Who?
When you were saying star receiver, I thought you were gonna like do something goofy and take like one of the other guys.
One of
I was like, oh, you asshole. But yeah, okay.
No, Stephon Diggs. Go Bills. That's for Morgan.
So Drake London just went. I'm a little upset at that. So
USC guy.
yeah. Kareem Hunt goes. I'm up in 2 picks.
Greg?
Is this the move where I take my quarterback guys? Like,
Who's left?
there's a lot. I'm not going to pick again for a while. So we have Dak Prescott, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson.
Rodgers.
I don't know if I want to
Take Rodgers.
So, Greg, if you had an option to pick which one of those quarterbacks?
Rodgers, Wilson, Brady, Prescott.
Rodgers, Wilson, Brady, Prescott. Rodgers. Wilson, I don't trust. Prescott has like no weapons, and Brady has a horrible offensive line behind him, in front of him. So
Rodgers.
I still say Rodgers. Even with the weapons issue, bud, like he'll find a way. There have been many years before where we thought that he didn't have the weapons, and he still made it work. Like, come on.
I hate myself.
He took him. He took his number one person not to take.
I took Rodgers. I hate.
He's a bad man.
All right,
Shut up. You'll be happy.
All right. So am I? No, Greg, you're still on your wide receiver.
Wide receiver.
So Stephon Diggs and Jamar Chase are not gone. I mean, I think for me, it's got to be the guy that's probably also one of the. Actually, I was gonna go Justin Jefferson, but I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go with the guy who literally broke almost every single catch record that we ever saw last year. And give me, is the name escaping me? Cooper Kupp. Sorry, go Cooper Kupp. I had like just a brain fart for a second. I was like, what the hell?
What's his name?
Cooper Kupp.
Solid pick.
Yeah.
Now you're up for your tight end.
Tight end is easy, and
Don't take who I want.
I will give Dre a ton of credit for putting this in my head because I do love this guy, and I think he's going to put up some numbers this year. Give me Kyle Pitts.
Oh.
Kyle Pitts did not have the touchdowns last year, but goddamn, like if you're able to like utilize him in the right way, like Kyle Pitts is going to put up numbers this year. And I expected him to have a bad year last year because tight ends rarely do well their rookie years. So
Yeah. Hey Austin. Chip said, "Isn't that the guy he said would suck?"
I fell under pressure, Chip. I'm sorry. So I am up in one pick now because Tom Brady just went. Guys, DeAndre Hopkins is there.
take him. If your receivers are set, absolutely scoop them and stash them.
He's suspended, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my
Scoop and
receivers,
stash.
just so people are aware, Terry McLaurin, Jalen Waddle, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Is that set enough to take DeAndre Hopkins?
I would still take him. I'm in my ninth round and someone took DeAndre Hopkins already. So like
I will. Let's go D-Hop. Put it in. All right.
All right. Now I'm going with my tight end. I said my team's going to be consistent throughout. I'm going Mark Andrews.
You can't go wrong with that. Mark Andrews is a solid choice.
Thanks, Greg.
Ninth round.
Wow, someone just took Justin Tucker in round 10. God damn it. What are we
He's
doing?
always the first kicker to go.
Oh, but so early.
Except yesterday in that tag team league, we had I can't think of his name. Carlson from the Raiders.
Oh,
Daniel
Yeah,
Carlson.
we had him like on the side and accidentally picked him. Then we realized Justin Tucker was still there.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, I was mad.
Oh my God, Harrison Butker just went. What are we doing? It's round 10.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I'm about to be in round 10, which is where I'm probably going to take my quarterback now. And I think this is going to be the league that I do the thing and I take Trey Lance.
So
I'm going to take the risk because here's the thing: if it doesn't work out, I'm okay with playing the waiver wire.
So Trey
Greg,
Lance
what league is that, by the
still
way?
What?
What league are you in?
The
12
YGFL
team
Division 2.
Division 2?
Division 2. You're in Division 1.
Division 2?
Yes, Division 2.
Austin, I'm in Division 1.
Yes, you are in Division
Greg's
1.
in Division 2.
I know I'm in Division 2. I played bad last year. I agree.
I finished 4th every year so far.
Real quick, guys, debating on what I want to do here for my pick coming up. I'm up in 3 spots. Chris Olave is there.
Mhm.
Wow, the Bills defense just went. What are we doing here? Chris Olave is still there. A.J. Dillon's still here. Rashad Penny's still here. I have for my running backs Austin Eckler, DeAndre Swift, J.K. Dobbins, Damian Pierce. For wide receivers, Terry McLaurin, Jalen Waddle, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and DeAndre Hopkins. Do I solidify myself right here and take Chris Olave? Well, there just went Chris Olave.
Well,
So,
that answered that.
I figured that was going to happen. I was
um,
going to say yes.
crap. So now that irritates me.
Claypool's still there.
What? Claypool is still here.
Take him.
I want to take Pickens though.
I'm going to take Pickens.
I don't know, Greg. What do you think? Best wide receivers on the board right now: Kadarius Toney, Brandon Ayuk, Alan Lazard, Robert Woods.
Couple of those guys are number ones technically.
Lazard.
I already have
Robert Woods is also number 1 too.
Where's he at?
Tennessee. Listen, Brandon Ayuk kind of underwhelmed a little bit last year, but I would not be surprised if he's also used a lot more in this offense this year too.
Here's the thing: I am not picking again for a little bit. So, do I want to? Trying to think how many more. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 bench spots left. 2 of them have to be for a quarterback and backup tight end. Who just went? Kenny Pickett.
Yinzer draft, you gotta love it.
1, 2, 3, 4 wide receivers. 1, 2, 3, 4 running backs. So I have 1 more running back I can draft and 1 more wide receiver I can draft. And I'm going to be honest, guys. I mean, A.J. Dillon and Rashad Penny, that's really hard to pass up on them at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, out of those 2, what are we thinking?
Between Rashad Penny and A.J. Dillon?
Yeah.
I go Penny because I know he's the number 1.
I was going to say A.J. Dillon.
I will trust my gut and go with Rashad Penny. Let's see what. So now I have my wide receiver that I can take.
He just
Depending on who that is. Trey Lance is still here, so hopefully maybe I can get him as my backup.
I'm getting him as my starter in round 10 because why not?
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, Austin, who are you going to take for your tight end?
That's right. I'm sorry. We're doing the show too, so I apologize.
Jesus Christ.
No
commercial break this time. Commercial break.
Jumping right in there.
Tight end. We have the Kyle Pitts and Mark Andrews have been used. I could go Travis Kelce. I'm trying to think outside of the box here.
Dawson.
No. Listen, hopefully he has a better stellar season than he has had. I'm going to go George Kittle.
He was injured. He got injured last year, and it really screwed him.
2 years in a row.
Yeah.
2 years in a row he was injured.
Yeah.
Is it T's or D's?
T. You didn't know that?
No.
It's all right, bud.
So I might bite the bullet here and take Trey Lance as my backup quarterback if he's available. I guess a lot of people are auto drafting now, so the draft is going a lot quicker.
A lot faster.
Well, that's good.
But we'll recap the great debate here. Austin has his quarterback Josh Allen, running back Christian McCaffrey, wide receiver Jamar Chase, and tight end George Kittle. I have quarterback Justin Herbert, running back Derrick Henry, wide receiver Stephon Diggs, tight end Mark Andrews. And Greg, Austin Scott, has Patrick Mahomes, Austin Eckler, Cooper Kupp, and Kyle Pitts.
I think it'll surprise some
Solid
people.
teams.
That's solid.
Yeah, can't
All
go
right.
wrong with that.
So
Chip has a
since
good
we're not
point.
doing-
Chip has a good point, Austin. If you win money, we all get paid.
I don't know about that.
I think it's fair.
We're helping you.
Yeah, really. Come on.
I mean, everyone's hoping that people get paid, but let's not. That's my money. All right, since we're not doing a commercial break, let's hit right into the top 10 of the evening. Okay, thank God. All righty, we are here. I'm just selecting Trey Lance as my backup quarterback.
And I've just selected him as my starter.
Here we go, Greg. So the top 10 are the top 10 hottest fantasy football takes this year. I think that all my takes are very spicy, as they can be. So hopefully that these all get squared away.
So hopefully these will go down. These won't go down well, is what you're trying to say.
Oh, I hope they go. I hope they all come true. I hope they all come
Okay. Okay. That's
true. Do you think I hope these don't come true?
well. You're spicy. The idea is you
Spicy. He's trying to get people mad.
don't. Ah.
And-
Okay. Got you. So
Would be
yeah.
my-
So
would
they
be my guess.
so they won't go down well.
Alrighty, let's do this.
Just ignore it.
I'm trying to manage two different things.
No-
So
number 10.
my number 10. Saquon Barkley fires back with 10 touchdowns this season.
I agree. He'll be the focal point of that offense because I don't trust Daniel Jones at all. So if he stays healthy, yes, Saquon should bare minimum have at least 10 touchdowns this year.
It's just what else is going to happen for that offense? Kenny Galladay is awful. Kadarius Toney is there, but he's always injured.
Are they all 10 rushing touchdowns? Or is it a mix?
I'll say split them, 5 and 5. 5 rushing touchdowns, 5 receiving touchdowns.
Okay.
I think that serves him well for that. My number 9, Rashad Bateman records 1,200 receiving yards. The other reason I make that number is because his number used to be 12. So now it's 7. However, there's just something about Bateman this year that I love, being that he is the number 1 in that system. Obviously, he's going to take stuff from he's going to get stuff taken away by Mark Andrews, and just the running game in general. I am also up, so I think this is where I pull the trigger, boys, and I take George Pickens.
I like it. I just took Chase Claypool in the 11th round, actually.
Just make sure I don't have too many wide receivers with the bye week 9. I don't.
I always forget to look at that.
Dude, it terrifies me. I really do. So there you go. George Pickens. He's got that dog in him.
Got a dog.
Got that dog. So now all I have left is my backup tight end and a kicker and a defense. So, but yeah, there's just something about Rashad Bateman this year that I love, being that he's the number 1 there. 1,200 might seem unrealistic, but I think the upside is very high. Do you guys agree?
I'm nervous about that, honestly. I, for the life of me, have not been able to figure out what Lamar Jackson prioritizes when he throws the football. Mark Andrews is clearly the best one. We haven't seen this Ravens offense with the rushing weapons that he's at his disposal. So because of that, I think that also kind of skewed the numbers a bit because it kind of divvied up the targets a little weirdly last year. So I think Bateman should realistically get more looks, especially talent-wise. He was very good at Minnesota, like very, very good. But he's just on a team now that like I guess just doesn't prioritize the receivers as much. So I'm a little nervous about that prediction.
I mean, that's why it's a hot take, right? So,
Okay.
Is he the number 1 receiver?
yes. If you're not counting Mark Andrews, then yes.
So it's
Mark Andrews is
doable.
technically a tight end.
Yeah, I know. I picked him. Great debate. Were you here
yeah.
for that?
Hey, I picked him on my team. Were you here for that? There goes Sky Moore and Kenneth Walker. I'm hoping to grab the Saints defense here whenever it comes up because I don't think they have much competition at all in that division. So hopefully the Saints fall to me. If they don't, the Ravens are there for a defense. I know Dre is going to like this take, so let me just say it right now. Cortland Sutton is going to be this year's Cooper Kupp. Yep. It's a hot take, and just like that, someone steals the Saints defense off me.
That's what you get.
I know.
Boy, if Dre was here, he'd be doing backflips in this one if that's the case. I don't know because Sutton's not a possession guy. So, well, he's a bigger body guy, so I guess that's fair that like he could maybe get the slot role of Metcalf or something like that, but like he's struggled with injury all year and I don't want to say a Kupp year. Cooper Kupp had probably one of the best receiver years we will ever see from a wide receiver. And Wilson, he still has some talent, but there's a lot of times where like the let Russ cook thing didn't actually work out as well as it should have. So I'm curious. And here's the thing. I think too many people are bullish on this Broncos offense. I'm still like not 100% sold on it fully because I don't trust that O-line, and it's a rookie head coach working from it as well. Like rookie head coaches like rarely exceed expectations like that from the very beginning. He's got the talent, but for the most part, like Wilson's working with a lot of guys that for the most part are very young and very unknown. So like I'm a little bit more like cautious on this like compared to like other people.
Who's better, Sutton or Judy, wide receiver? Or they
See,
same
it's
style?
Talent wise, I think Judy. I think Judy's better. But like
opportunity-wise, though, I think it's Sutton. But you're right. Talent-wise, it's definitely Judy.
Yeah.
But it's just that who is he going to target more? Is going to be Cortland Sutton.
When Judy was at Alabama, there were some like, oh my God, he was fantastic. Possession, physical, all that stuff that you wanted in a receiver. So I loved Jerry Jeudy when he was coming out of Alabama, but Sutton has potential, but I wouldn't give him a Cooper Kupp type year. That's like I don't think
It's a hot take.
we're never gonna see another Cooper Kupp year, bud.
Austin, you have a comment from Chip. You can read that.
Okay. And that comment says, what in the world?
Kierstendim is gonna be the best receiver on the
Is
Broncos.
that an actual receiver?
No.
Is that an actual name?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
I was about to
sure.
know.
That's why I wanted you to read it.
No.
I was about to lose my mind.
What's the name of that like what's the name of that like U thing at the two dots at the top? I can't remember what it's called.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Craig.
You don't see the comment. It's okay, bud.
I don't. All right, let's move on to hot take number 7. Tony Pollard finishes with more points than Ezekiel Elliott.
I don't hate this, especially because there's been a lot of talk about Zeke. Zeke's like touches have gone down a lot over the years, and Pollard is like still the guy that's going to get a lot of splash plays. I think. You're talking fantasy points, right? Like just trying to make sure.
Points.
Okay.
I just had to shorten everything on the screen.
I still think that. Sorry, give me 1 second.
Austin, Chip said, not sure what the hell that is. Jerry Jeudy. I think he
tried to say Jerry Jeudy. That's funny.
That came out perfect.
That makes sense.
I think Pollard will probably get more scores, but I think in terms of like 100-yard games or something, like I still think Zeke, because Zeke will be the guy that they run into the ground.
I mean, so my thing is that they're both pass catch backs. Pollard, in my mind, is faster. He's more evasive, where Zeke just kind of tries to bulldoze people over, and it hasn't been working for him, obviously, in the past couple of years. I don't know, guys. I think this kid's gonna finally take the reins this year. And speaking of taking the reins, I will take either my kicker or my backup tight end. So I will take Daniel Carlson.
I wouldn't do a backup tight end, honestly. That's kind of like, I feel like that's wasting a roster spot.
It's good to have one in case you get hurt, but you can always pick one up on waivers.
Tight ends and quarterbacks are kind of like that same weird thresh that, like, because you only play one of them in most leagues, like, you can probably rotate them a lot during the year, and it'll usually work out pretty well for you. Unless you get like a guy who's like the elite of the elite tight ends, like early or something, that's understandable. But for the most part, I think drafting a backup tight end is kind of wasting a spot.
I mean, let's look at what tight ends we have available real quick. So, and the only guy I'm really looking at is Noah Fant, which it's
okay. That's understandable.
So, because like Irv Smith is after Tyler Higbee, Evan Engram, like these guys aren't going to do anything. But if Mark Andrews, God forbid, were to go down with an injury, I think that I could trust Noah Fant, with that being of the argument that I made for him earlier.
Yeah, if he's there, might as well take him.
Yeah, especially since I'm having a notion where I'm noticing I have a lot of 10-week buys, but this is my last pick, and then I will be able to focus on other things like the show, like number 6. Like number 6 for the fantasy football hot takes. Not only will Malik Willis take Tannehill's job, but he's going to score more fantasy points than him this season.
No, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way. There's nothing. There's
no way that he's taking his job, or no way he's getting more fantasy points.
Both. They are not playing Malik Willis at all this year, bud. They're gonna Tannehill is not going to do anything to lose his job this year. I've touched on this. We've touched on this on Tubers Deep many times. Ryan Tannehill is the type of quarterback that'll do everything in his power to not lose you a game. And quite frankly, the Titans should have beat the Bengals last year. They really should. If Derrick Henry was not hurt, they would have mopped the floor with the Bengals last year.
First of all, though, you're saying he's going to do everything to not lose you a game. Didn't Tannehill throw 3 interceptions in that game?
I do not remember his stat line, honestly. All I remember is that Joe Burrow got sacked 9 times, and they should not have won that game. That's all.
But I know for a fact, I think it was, whether it was 2 or 3, I think it was 3. Tannehill had 3 interceptions in that game. So, and I like what I've seen out of Malik Willis. I think that, let's not notion that the fact that at the beginning, Tannehill was like, why do I have to train him? I don't want to do that. It's stupid. I think the arrogance is going to catch up to him. And I think
that was Ben with Rudolph, though.
I know.
Come on.
Look at Rudolph.
Rudolph sucks.
Yeah, that's true.
But I guarantee you that Malik Willis, that they sit Tannehill, and Malik Willis will have more fantasy points. And now when we get into number 5, this is where we had the discussion. My number 5, Patrick Mahomes doesn't finish as a top 5 quarterback this season.
Thoughts?
I don't think
you could make a case he might take a step back because the offense will be different, but he still has the talent that I think he'll be fine.
I think he'll be top 5, so probably 4 or 5.
Nope. Here's my thoughts. Josh Allen.
Okay.
Jalen Hurts.
Okay, I don't hate that.
Lamar Jackson.
Especially contract, okay.
Yep.
Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like that one wild card. I want to say it's Kyler, but I don't. I'm really struggling.
Not without D-Hop in the first 6 or 7 weeks or whatever. No
forget
way.
That,
No
you
way.
forget that Marquise Brown is there, dude. I think he's gonna be
Marquise
good.
Brown didn't do shit when he was with Lamar Jackson, but come on, don't be trying to like compare the two in that
If
one.
it's anything, I'm gonna say Burrow. I think those are the top 5, and I think Mahomes finishes outside of the top 5 for I think the first time in his career.
I feel like everyone is putting way too much stock in him losing Tyreek Hill as like the reason that he's going to lose.
How many games did he win, though, with just throwing the ball up in a 50-50 sprint?
I get that, but I'm telling you, like, if you cut out the 50-50 balls, he forces him to be more responsible and therefore will be better with the football, though.
And
he'll just do that with Kelsey.
What?
He's done it before. He's done it like 6 times with Kelsey, and about half of those were intercepted.
He also did them with Tyreek Hill. So let's not.
He's just too reckless. He's too reckless for me, Greg.
Oh, come on. If you take Tyreek Hill out of that offense, I think he'll be smarter. I really do. And we're forgetting here too. This is only his 4th year in the league. Like we're just gonna like gloss that over completely. It's not like this guy's over the hill in any way.
All I'm saying is also Tom Brady's in that discussion. So, and Kyler Murray. So that's what I'll bet you a 6-pack, Greg, that he finishes outside the top 5.
Outside the top 5 in overall fantasy quarterbacks?
In fantasy points, I think that in terms of like tiers for fantasy, like number 1, number 2, number 3, I bet you a 6-pack that Patrick Mahomes finishes outside the top 5.
And we're doing okay.
You guys got to shake on it.
Top 5 overall quarterbacks. Okay?
Fantasy, yeah.
In fantasy.
Yeah.
All right. Shake hands.
You're on. Okay.
All right.
Number 4.
It's a 6-pack, whatever.
Number 4 has a lot to do with the Packers. This is an interesting one. Aaron Jones leads the Packers in yards, but Dylan leads the Packers in touchdowns.
Oh, I can see that. That's a fair take, actually. That's an absolute fair take. A.J. Dillon's got the body to be like a vulture at the goal line, too, but he's still a very good running back. Like, let's not kid ourselves on this one, but yeah, Aaron Jones will definitely put up the numbers.
I think that I wanted to put more in here, but it was just way too long. I think that Jones is going to get 1,000 yards rushing, and I think that A.J. Dillon's going to have at least double-digit touchdowns. I think that's primarily what they're going to use. Aaron Jones is going to be the pass catch back, and A.J. Dillon's going to be the goal line guy. I think that's what they're going to do. So.
Yeah, no, I don't hate that because like it's very like comparable to a lot of teams that use 2 running backs. When especially if you look at both of them, like it's pretty clear like one should be used in a much different capacity versus the other. So, nothing wrong with that.
Number 3, I touched on this a little bit. Jalen Hurts finishes as a top 3 quarterback in fantasy.
I do. First off, I have loved Jalen Hurts ever since he came out. I think he gets way too much disrespect entirely. The way he can play with his legs and the way that he can throw the football and the offense that's built around him, he should put up numbers this year. I agree with you that like he will be a top QB this year, but I will say top 5. I don't know about top 3.
I think listen.
He's got everything. He's got everything. I am not denying that at all whatsoever. And I love this Eagles team. Their O-line is great. Their receivers are very good. The running backs are underappreciated in my opinion. Like I love this Eagles offense. So I think he should put up numbers.
This is what, in my honest opinion, this is what Lamar Jackson needs. Lamar Jackson needs that offensive line, needs receivers. Because, I mean, Jalen Hurts had, 10, 11 rushing touchdowns last season. He had almost 800 rushing yards. One thing he didn't have, now granted, I like Devontae Smith, but I don't think he's a clear-cut number 1 receiver. Now that they have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert.
It's a great offense. Great offense.
Like, if he doesn't finish as a top 3, I'll be surprised. He's got to finish top 3.
And listen, respect Miles Sanders too. He doesn't get enough.
I want Miles Sanders to succeed because I had him last year, and I got screwed because they played Kyle Shanahan touch ball with saying, oh, you're going to get the ball. Oh, hey, Jordan Howard, Do you want to come out of retirement for 2 years, after 2 years, and play ball again? Oh, yeah, here's the football. Go in and score like 5 touchdowns in 3 games, you piece of shit. Like, I was so infuriated. Every time they said Miles Sanders was going to go off, Miles Sanders sat the bench or literally had like 3 yards.
Which is crazy because I'm pretty sure stat-wise they had like one of the top 5 rushing offenses last year as well. And it took them a month to finally realize that they needed to run the ball more.
Yeah. Number 2. I think this is going to be accurate, guys. I think that DeAndre Swift finishes with 1,000 rushing yards and 1,000 receiving yards.
I love me some DeAndre Swift. I really do. I loved him when he was at Georgia. I thought he was electric. I was so happy that he got to the Lions because I thought that he was a gamer and he's a dual threat guy. That's something they've needed for a long, long time. I agree with the 1,000 rushing yards because I think he can put up the numbers. The receiving yards are going to be interesting, but where I will agree with you on this one, Jared Goff has one of the weakest arms in the NFL. Jared Goff sucks at football, and I'm going to be adamant about that for the longest time, and I hate that he's the starting quarterback for the Lions. But if there's any quarterback that should utilize the dink and dunk more, it's him, and I could definitely see this happening.
You're going to feel a lot better when they take a guy in the draft, don't you?
Oh, I can't wait. I was so happy when they took Aiden Hutchinson. I was thrilled when they took Jameson Williams. I actually just picked him up in my league because I'm going to stash him. But when they get a better quarterback, I will be thrilled because I hate Jared Goff.
Would you rather have Mason Rudolph?
Greg, come on.
That's interesting. I might consider it. Because Jared Goff fits that mold that he will do everything in his power to not lose you a game. At least Mason will try.
Jesus. All right. Final hot take of the evening, gentlemen. Jamar Chase records 2,000 receiving yards.
I would not be shocked by this at all. I wouldn't, because I look at that offense. It's very good. I will say, I think teams didn't game plan well for him last year because they didn't know what to expect because he took an entire year off. I think now that there's tape on him, and I think that the Bengals will have a tougher schedule this year, I think teams will pay more attention to him. So that means T. Higgins will probably get more looks, actually. So because of that, and because I do like T. Higgins, and because, and I'm a sucker for Tyler Boyd, obviously, just cause. But I would say it would be capped at like 1,500. I mean, 2,000 is a bit aggressive.
That's why it's a hot take, but I think people are going to think they're going to run the ball a lot more this year with that upgraded offensive line. I think Joe Mixon's going to have a very good season this year, probably his best season as a running back. So
I think he had 1,000 yards last year, actually. I'm pretty sure.
Well, he did, but I'm saying now that he has an upgraded offensive line,
yeah,
that's so much better that he's going to be able to find the creases a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
But those are the hot takes, guys. Interesting show, I will say. I've never had so much going on in the show before.
There was a lot going on.
I was going to say, if you didn't have ADD before, now you do.
Austin, I have a question for you, though.
Yeah.
So the Steelers announced Mitch Trubisky is a starter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll last the whole season? If not, when will Kenny or Mason take over?
Week 4 or 5.
Week 4 or 5, Kenny?
No.
Yeah.
Trubisky will play the whole season. Unless he gets injured.
I think they're going to look at their record. I think they're going to look at their stats. And I think Tomlin finally, depending on how we start off, I think Tomlin's that losing record thing is going to get to him. And I think he's going to throw everything he can to make sure that doesn't happen.
I disagree because I look at it like if you watched any of the preseason, Trubisky didn't do anything that would like you make it realize that he was that bad. You know, like there's for me in particular, like if the offense runs smoothly and stuff, and for the record, like Trubisky is working behind a bad O-line. Let's be clear about this. So regardless if you take him out or whatnot, Kenny's working behind a bad O-line too. So I think that's the part that I care more about. And quite frankly, I think this could be a same thing as we talked about with the Niners. Let Mitch Trubisky play the full year because it's a 2-year contract, but that second year is an option. So I think they are totally fine with having him start all year. Let Kenny sit because the Steelers are conservative in that case, but at least they're smart in knowing that he can get the job done. So,
any questions, boys? I think this was a wonderful way to start the fantasy season, so to speak. And that was my final fantasy draft of the year. So 7 drafts. Let's bring home the cheddar, boys. We have to.
Yeah.
We have to.
Hopefully, I'm about to take my kicker in a second as soon as someone makes their pick when they have 30 seconds left on the clock. I don't think they're auto picking, but we'll see. If I am taking Younghoku as my kicker for the record, just cause.
Yeah, I thought about him too, Greg.
I look at that Atlanta offense, bud. Like I don't trust whoever's quarterbacking for them, and I think they're just gonna have to kick a lot. So, and they're in a dome, so that helps.
Dome always helps.
Dome always helps. I really do think that if you're looking at kickers in general, always go with the ones that you know don't have great offenses.
Yeah, I thought about that was when I went Daniel Carlson, but I thought about Nick Folk from the Patriots for
that's a great one actually.
I know, but that would have been like my 6th or 7th person on my team with a week 10 bye. So I know I should have probably picked him, but I think Carlson will do fine. I think the Raiders are going to make some offensive mistakes. So, and I trust Carlson's leg a lot. So
that's fair.
But all right, everybody. Thank you to everyone for tuning in, and we hope that all your fantasy seasons do well and that you pray to the fantasy gods that all of your wildest and wonderfulest dreams come true. So, not looking at you two. You guys can lick my ass in this league.
Wow, you're mean.
I'm still going to decide what I'm doing. I know I did the quarterback carousel last year, but I might switch it up this year because last year I just picked 2 randoms each week, and that was a lot of work.
It was a lot of work.
It was a lot of bad quarterbacks.
Yep.
Well, you know what he's saying, Greg, is that he needs to have a winning strategy this time.
Yes.
No, I'm thinking about doing the same thing, but keeping the quarterback that wins.
Listen, the quarterback carousel, that's actually interesting. The quarterback carousel does work. It really, really does. You just have to know the matchups.
Did you take Ryan Fitzpatrick last year, and that's when he got hurt?
Yeah. But, like, I made it so I had to use a different quarterback every week.
Right.
So once they lost, or if they didn't win, like the voting, they were there for another week. And I kept picking new quarterbacks. I didn't reuse quarterbacks. This year I might reuse them because I think I had someone that wasn't even playing at the end of the season.
Completely fair.
So.
But, again, thankful to everyone who tuned in. And the NFL season starts this Thursday with the Rams and the Bills.
Go Bills.
A freaking good game.
Yes, it will be a good game.
But until then, gavel Greg, court is adjourned.
Court is adjourned.